Chelsea Football Club, the transfer window is closed. A part of me thinks finally, and thank God, the other part of me thinks, did we leave ourselves in an exposed position? We need to break it down. We need to talk about the incomings, the outgoings, and the lows. We're going to grade it 1 to 10. 10 being amazing, 1 being average. We're going to go through all the key highlights. The key standpoints are Chelsea bought 221 million euros worth of players. Chelsea made over 331 million worth of pounds. There were 6 loans. One of them has already been called back from international loan, meaning a spot is freed up. Someone could go to Saudi or to Turkey. We'll talk about it. Before we get started, number 1, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts, alright? Hype button, integral. Do it now in the comments below as well. Give me a grading 1 to 10 for sales incoming, sales outgoing, and the loans that were utilized. Let me know. Let's get started. My overall opinion before we get into the segments, I think this was a good window. I don't think it was a phenomenal window. I think it was a good window. I think the window has us asking for more because we're hungry to go after a league. We're Chelsea fans. We cannot lose that. The minute we lose asking to win leagues and trophies, we lose our identity. What we cannot do though is be overly negative. Look, this is the morning after the event and the window is closed. We need to be open-minded for the season to come. We have got a good manager. We have got a brilliant squad that is ready to compete. Yes, compete. Until we are out of the title race, we are in the title race. I don't want to be the chilled guy. I don't want to be deluded, but I want to be the realistic guy that every weekend when we go into a game, I want us to be able to battle. We need to be honest. We need to say it how it is. And more importantly, I'm always going to be here to tell you what's the truth rather than tell you what you want to hear. So, overall, it's been a decent window, and we're going to break it down. Let's get started. We're going to start with the incomings, and this is going to be the bulky part of the video. Chelsea spent 221 million euros, and a lot of people are going to say that's a huge investment. I think that's part of the business. Looking at numbers these days is stupid, purely based on the fact that they can be used to inform opinion, they can't be used to dictate opinion. Everybody spends money. Arsenal spent around that region, Liverpool spent 400 million pounds, and even more. Manchester United spent money, Manchester City, Spurs, everybody that is a big club spends money. What was the best part of our incomings? For me, Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro has given us a bona fide starter. Whether it's in the 9, whether it's in the 10, it gives us a beautiful flavor between him and Palmer, rotating if Palmer goes to the right or if Palmer comes to the 10 and he moves to the 9. He's one that we can't complain. When we were linked with him, I was saying Ekitike maybe we should go for Ekitike. We went for Joao Pedro. I've got zero regret. Brilliant signing. Well done, the directors. And that's one thing I'm going to do consistently in this video. I'm going to be very transparent where I was wrong and where the directors are correct. Secondly, Hato, Delap, and Isugo. All acquisitions for the squad. They're not acquisitions for the present. They're here to play a role off the bench and start the occasional games. I think Delap is a brilliant signing. The price we got him for, the ability to contribute now, proven in the league in terms of what he did at Ipswich. I love it. Cucurella needed a backup and Hato can play in the left centre-back role. For me, on the ball, brilliant so far. I'm very happy. I'm very chuffed. Furthermore, Isugo. Isugo is basically a long-term project. You acquired him to be there just in case anything happens to Caicedo. He's going to play the cup games against Lincoln and the Carabao Cup, FA Cup. In emergencies where Caicedo's coming back from international break, if Isugo's around, he will be playing certain amount of games. I love to see that. He is the 5th choice because Romeo Lavia is not fit. That is a great acquisition. I can't avoid it. Santos and Estevao were signings that happened before. They were on loan. They came back. Estevao is a bona fide contributor now. I don't care what anyone says. By November, I reckon he starts at right wing and Neto moves to the left. And that will be our starting quartet between Palmer, Estevao, Neto, and Joao Pedro. That's what I think will be the triangle. The issues for me arise now. Garnacho and Buonanotte are 2 prospective signings that could be amazing, but are unknown. Garnacho has all the potential in terms of numbers to be somebody that kicks on, contributes with good assists, good goals. The problem is we've seen him with the eye test. We don't know what he's going to contribute now and if he's ready to take us to the next level. Because remember, the aspiration always with Chelsea Football Club is that we go for the league. Garnacho doesn't do that for me at the moment. Buonanotte, the more I watch his comps, and I know this is terrible analysis, the more I'm getting sold a dream. This kid looks cold. Absolutely brilliant. Problem is, you can't fall in love with a lone player. Why? because he's going back. This is like a holiday fling. You meet somebody, couple of weeks, next thing you know, you're like, hey, we're getting back to our normal lives, we ain't gonna stay in contact. This is Buonanotte. He's coming to Chelsea. Chelsea fans are gonna fall in love with him, most probably, or hate him, and he's gonna go, we're never gonna hear him again. Gittins is the final one. Gittins ended up being our second most expensive player, right? 56 million euros. Gittins was a saga that was public. It involved him thinking he's in the Fast and Furious, him driving off in an epic movie scene because he's frustrated because his move was broken down before the deadline to play in the Club World Cup. And honestly, some people are going to argue that, well, did we really need Gittins? And for me, the talent in Gittins is evident, right? You can see it. Cutting in, taking shots, very aggressive with the way he dribbles, always wants to find some room. My issue has always been with Gittins, is he ready to contribute now? And the fee that we got him for dictates that he should contribute now, because the average football fan is going to do this. And I'm mark my words, 56 million. He's rubbish. I promise you, that is going to be the response from an average football fan. The problem is, this will impact the player. To cast it back to when we got Mykhailo Mudryk, right? When we got Mudryk, what happened? Mudryk came into the club, looked amazing on his debut. Anybody that saw that debut said, Matting, we've got an absolute baller, or an expression in that sense. The reality here is, we need to think openly and constructively about how we criticize players. But we need to be fair, and we need to be open, and we need to be honest. And the reality is, I don't think we are. I don't think we are. Because what we're saying with Gittins right now is, give him time, it's only been 5 games. The problem is, he's not gonna have time when him and Garnacho need to fight out for that spot. If his confidence deteriorates, he will lose the things that made him so good at Dortmund. The confidence to take players on. That will be impacted. The confidence to take shots at will, regardless of the consequences. The confidence to be himself. If that happens, we're going to get a shadow of the player. And we saw that with Mykhailo Mudryk. So for me, overall, this transfer window is a 5 out of 10 for the players incoming. People won't like that. I think it's a 5 out of 10. João Pedro directly improves the team from the outset. Estevão potentially could do that towards the end of the season. Santos could do that. The rest, bench fillers, good squad depth, not ready to contribute to win the league. That is how I'm judging the window. In the comments below, let me know yours. And also, hit that like button and subscribe if you made it this far. We're trying to grow. When it comes to Chelsea's transfers and the sale, boy, oh boy, have they done well. Chelsea have accumulated 331 million euros. That is a record in the Premier League. That has never been done. That is unprecedented. This is a brilliant business from Chelsea. And what happened is, Chelsea were very aggressive in the manner that they operated in. The first thing I want to talk about is the deadwood that they got out. Players that were just no longer surplus for requirement, players that needed to move on, players that, in my opinion, have ability but just not at Chelsea Football Club to stay. Number 1 is Nkunku, 37 million euros. Joao Felix, 30 million euros. Ben Chilwell went for free to Strasbourg. Carney left for 25 million euros. Straight away there, these are players that were difficult to shift on a yearly basis, would have been in a bomb squad, all got shifted. João is absolutely balling out in Saudi Arabia. He's going to get a great sell-on fee and maybe even activate his clauses that could get us all our money back. Nkunku deserves a start at refresh at Milan. His careers have impacted him. Carney has moved on to Dortmund and we are happy about that. Ben Chilwell, broski, just go play football. You need to go play football, and he's at Strasbourg. After that, Chelsea got a lot of the young players that they were willing to take gambles on, certain amount of profit or broke even. Ogorchukwu went to Burnley, 29 million euros with add-ons and sell-ons included. Wonderful business. KDH broke even, 29 million euros. Broja, 23 million euros overall package deal to Burnley. That is phenomenal business. And finally, Renato Vega, 25 million plus 50% sell-on fee or 40% sell-on fee, one of the two, to Villarreal. That business is the foundation of what Blue Co want to operate on. They're going to bring players in for cheap. If it doesn't work, they flip them. Dario Sugo will be the next one that this happens to, in my opinion. He will be playing, and then someone will come in, pay us 40 million for him, and we're going to flip him, and it's double the money in less than 24 months. Those players deserved opportunities at Chelsea. Some of them got them, some of them didn't, but you have to move them on. I think that is the logic that you have to operate with. The other things that happened was a bunch of youth players from Cobham moved on, Gilchrist got moved on, Humphreys got moved on. One player that got moved on but then rebought was Ishe Samuel-Smith. Ishe was originally sold to Strasbourg. Then Chelsea used the phone contract cooling off clause. You know them ones when you make a contract and you say, you know what, I changed my mind, cancel it, I don't want it anymore. That's what they did with Strasbourg and Ishe Samuel-Smith. He signed the contract at Strasbourg as an official player. Then they said, no thank you. He came back. He's now on loan at Swansea and he's Chelsea's player again. Very complicated. It'll be good to see how he does on loan at Swansea, but he's in the sale because overall that happened and it kind of got reverted. It's a bit confusing. The other thing is there are 3 bomb squad players left. 1 that will be reintegrated in my opinion, and 2 that are going to be isolated. We're going to start with Tariq George. Tariq George was not sold. Tariq George, at this moment in time, what ended up happening was there was a deal agreed. Harry Wilson's deal broke down for Fulham, which had a knock-on effect for Tariq George. Tariq George now will be at Chelsea. Tariq, I feel sorry for because I feel like he's stuck in a wilderness zone. This is an area now where I don't know what's going to happen with. Is he going to be someone that plays? Is he going to be used as a backup? What I do know is in that Lincoln game, he's going to play because Mark Guiu can't. Mark Guiu was recalled from his loan and Mark Guiu is ineligible to play in League Cup games. Meaning against Lincoln City, Tariq will most probably be up front unless they use Joao Pedro, which I really, really hope they don't. Furthermore, Disasi and Sterling. Disasi and Sterling now have a lifeline because there's an additional loan international spot open. I'll talk about it later. Only Saudi and only Turkey are available, or maybe Greece. Far as I'm aware, Raheem Sterling's not going anywhere. He wants to stay in London. Disasi wanted to go to Monaco, but the window's closed. Now we need to see what happens and how this evolves. Both players are going to be around. Whether these players are going to get reintegrated into the first squad or even be allowed to train with the first squad and be professionals, I don't know. What I would suggest is, personally, you reintegrate Raheem Sterling and Disasi. You let them train with the first team. You treat them like members of the team. They're not going to play the way Ben Chilwell didn't play. But you make sure you keep good relationships with them because in the future, you're going to need them to move on. There is no point paying their wages, keeping a bad decorum, and then they're going to make it more and more difficult to leave. In my opinion, you need to learn from the Nicholas Jackson situation rather than repeat the mistakes of the Nicholas Jackson situation. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts. My suggestion and rating for this is a 9 out of 10. I think Chelsea have done brilliantly on the sales. 331 million euros is no joke. 331 million euros is something that is unprecedented. The number of players that they got out, and the only reason that they've got players like Disasi left, Sterling left, and only George that the deal broke down for, marvelous. Petrovic went as well, and I didn't speak about that. There are many more players that went for stupid amounts of money, and we deserve it, and I can't lie to you, the director's cook. Under this operating system, loans are imperative. Look, international loans now have been changed, where Chelsea Football Club and other football clubs within the transfer window can only loan 6 players to international clubs because of EU regulation. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if that works between Spanish clubs and other clubs, but we're going to talk about it. What happened is Chelsea sent 3 players to Strasbourg. Sarr has gone back, Mamadou. He is playing at centre-half. He looks absolutely a unit and he's going to develop into a very good centre-half. And next year, we're going to have a decision to make. He looks very combative, good on the ball. I'm excited to see what he becomes. Penders is already getting Liam Rosenior's love and trust. You can see it, the way he talks about it. And there was footage that leaked where he spoke to him in the dressing room and he's like, you, my friend, are going to keep a lot of clean sheets for us. He went and gave him a hug, all 6'7" of him. Absolutely adores him. And Liam Rosenior is developing into a very good manager in front of our eyes. Kendry Pies was the big one. In my opinion, a lot of people asked, why did we just not keep him rather than get Buonanotte or promote a youth player? We could have just kept him. For me, the minutes he gets at Strasbourg are going to be imperative. Look, what needs to happen is Kendry needs to break into that team. Kendry has gone on loan. He's had 1 start. He's had 3 appearances. He has contributed in these appearances. And what is going to happen is he needs to earn his spot. He needs to learn to fight. He needs to get the aggression and he needs to get the physicality. He played at the Ecuadorian league. Now he needs to take the step to the French league and adapt. At the end of the year, there's a World Cup. He needs to go and be one of Ecuador's starters. If that happens, if he's a starter for Ecuador and he has a good season in Ligue 1, either next year they have a decision to make. They loan him to Strasbourg again and hopefully Strasbourg are in the Europa League, or he comes back to Chelsea and he's ready to fight for his position. This is what you need to see, because if these players develop, next year there's a decision to be made. Furthermore, Aaron Anselmino went from Argentine Aaron, as Matisse calls him, to all of a sudden now being somebody that Chelsea fans are very excited about. Argentine Aaron was like literally a member of the squad. He was a fan. He was somebody that was invested into being at the club, training with the team, never gonna get a look in. Now he's gone on loan to Dortmund and everyone's quickly remembered why Chelsea paid 18 million euros for him. He's there. He's bombing forward with the ball. He's putting in challenges. He's aggressive. Great passing range. CFC Don, my guy, yeah, has been absolutely raving about him. And a lot of people said, hey, listen, why scout merchant? Stop it. But he knows what he's talking about. Don's football knowledge is on point. I can't lie to you. He's entertaining. If you don't subscribe to Don's channel, go and follow him, man. He's absolute box office. I love that guy. And for me, Aaron Anselmino needs to be somebody that develops. He needs to be someone that actively promotes himself to the world, whether it's to come back and play for Chelsea or whether it's to come back to Dortmund and get them to pay money for him. Hopefully he has an outstanding tenure and comes back and can stake a claim to be our centre back. This could be an Andreas Christensen 2.0. That's 4 of them. The other one that we need to talk about is Nicholas Jackson. Look, Jackson's gone with a £50 million, £15.6 million loan. There are add-ons on the loan. If he plays X amount, this day will be triggered and it could go as high as 22 million. And then there's an obligation that could take it to 70 million. This is very contingent on the number of games he plays, yada, yada, yada. You get it. In an ideal world, we would have wanted to sell it. In an ideal world, you get him off the books, you don't worry about him moving forward. However, next year there will be a decision to be made. Does he go into the bomb squad? Does he leave us on a permanent basis? We need him to do well there. I don't like the way they treated him. I didn't like the way that you can train with us, but you're not going to play, especially when he is somebody that could have contributed to us being good now. So for me, that needs to be sorted out for next year. But this is a great loan. This is a great fee. They done well. The final one is David Washington. So David Washington has been since January at Santos. David's time at Santos has been very topsy-turvy. Santos is not in a good place. They've got Neymar. It is the Neymar show. I'm not even going to exaggerate. Like, people are getting happy that Neymar's playing football, not that Santos are winning games. Santos is a team that just got promoted. People are very animated anytime Neymar plays and they don't win. There's just a lot of fanfare. That hoopla around the club is massive. This kid has been lost in the shuffle. He's playing minutes here and there. He is not a combative member of the team. And it's just shown that the fact that he's basically can't break in. He's going to be returning to Chelsea. Chelsea have a international loan spot now available. They're going to do what they can in January. The key thing here is, and this is the interesting aspect of all of this, right? What happens to David? Because do you loan him to Turkey? That's oblivion. Do you loan him to Saudi or sell him to Saudi? That's oblivion. What do you do with this kid? You can't put him back in the under-21s. He's too good for that. Or at least it's just a step backwards. He's gone from playing men's football to going back to international under-21s. Shim is ahead of him. It's not going to work. What you can do is bring him back, get him trained, and in January, League One Championship loan. A lot of people are going to say he's trash. A lot of people said that about Diego Moreira. Diego Moreira has went on loan, and guess what? Moreira now is one of the best left wing backs out there, according to gurus that are fascinated by numbers. So for me, don't write him off. Let's see what he's made of. Let's watch him, and then we'll get to judge what it is. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's been very good loan selections, overall flawless work. The only one that I'm really annoyed about was the fact that Jackson's on loan and eating up an international spot, but the other 5, I think it's the right decision to bring Santos back, David Washington back. I think the other 4 have got a platform to build on, and we're going to reassess this moving forward. Listen, this was a very long video. We're going to go back to our normal types of videos where we're going to spread them out. They're not going to be as congested as they were during the transfer window. We're going to go for quality over quantity, because in the transfer window, everyone wants news. What we're going to do is get good videos where you guys watch to the very end. So what I need from you lot is show love, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this on your social media platforms, please. It's the best way I'm going to be able to grow. Tell your football friends about it, and we keep it stepping. Peace out. I'm out. Chelsea's going to have a very good season. Let's be positive.